Hey everybody, it's Brooks from DATAMiine, and today I wanted to do a video of what's coming down the pipeline. So it's going to be Q4 here very soon, and right now is the time to be thinking about your inventory. So I'm going to show you some metrics today on how you can use DATAMiine to get data to help you make better decisions with your inventory to better prepare you for fourth quarter sales. So with that, let's go ahead and dive deep into some metrics real quick. So let's talk about some numbers. So there's some very important numbers that I want to talk about. So average sales price. So your average sales price is very important because there's really two ways you can increase your sales. You can increase your average sales price, or you can just organically increase your inventory. So the more inventory you have, the more you sell. So I want to break down in DATAMiine how you can look at that month over month and get a better idea on what to expect for fourth quarter. Because let's face it, the time to be thinking about fourth quarter is not in October, it's now. And then all deals are on how long does it take you to normally sell a product. So with that, let's just go into DATAMine's UI real quick and look at some important numbers. So in the eBay page, under inventory, you see your holding cost chart here. But also it has your average sales price. So ours is $42. So keep in mind, your average sales price typically is looking at sold items, but this right here assumes that if you sold all your items in inventory, that would be $42. Okay, and then your average days of selling items. This says this is my sales cycle right here. So on average, it takes us 74 days to sell an item. So if I'm not thinking about buying inventory right now, I'm going to be missing the boat for fourth quarter. So I really challenge everyone watching this video to be thinking about their average sales price and their average time to sell a product. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and go into a little PowerPoint and dive into your numbers. So let's think about this from a business perspective. We have your average sales price. We have your average sales cycle. So our average sales cycle is 73 days. So what I challenge everyone to do on the first of every month, you do one simple thing. You go into DATAMiine and you see what your inventory on hand is. Okay. At the end of that month, you put your revenue in there. So if you know your sales cycle, let's say I'm going to use, to keep it simple, 2 months. So for 2 months, for March, my revenue right here was $73.50, and I had the inventory 2 months before that at $25,000. So I take my $25,000 and I want to divide it by my $73.50. That just gives me a factor, some kind of baseline that I can go off of. Every month you keep doing that, month over month, and you'll start seeing some variations in that. And then I love to take like an average of all those numbers. So then that gives me to the point of the most important piece as a business owner. You always want to set a goal. So let's say your goal for December is going to be $18,000. What you'll want to do is say, take your $18,000, times it by that factor that we came up with, and that says for me to get that, I need to have $65,000 in inventory with 2 months before, because your average sales cycle, we know for our case is 73 days, but for this model we assume 2 months. So this is the kind of stuff, I mean, this is how I do it. There could be other people out there who do it way differently. But the main piece as a business owner, you got to ground yourself to some metric that you consistently do month over month. And that way, I'm on calls all the time with people. They're like, well, if I just increase my inventory, I'm bound to sell more. That's true. But you need to have a goal and work off that goal. So that's the key thing I wanted to hit with this video. I know it's a very short video, but Q4 is coming. Winter's coming for all you Game of Thrones people out there. You need to be using DATAMiine and capturing that data by looking at your sales cycle, looking at your ASP. ASP is very important because let's say you strategically start buying more expensive items. Well, how do you know that your ASP is going up? You could just be buying more expensive items and your margin goes down. So, I'm not the kind of guy you're going to be watching my videos for being funny. I'm all about the numbers, and that's the most important piece from my perspective. So I challenge you to do the math here, what you're kind of seeing here. Every month you go in there and you're looking at your inventory. versus your revenue, looking at your sales cycle, and then coming up with a goal. I would love for everyone that's watching this video, please post your Q4 goals. It can be any kind of goal, from inventory goal to revenue goal, whatever you might be. Another neat thing I could show you here is when in your DATAMiine dashboard page, we can look at revenue versus transactions. So when I see our revenue here starting to slide, which is very common this time of the year, what am I telling in my mind? I'm like, we need to get more exposure out there. So, I see revenues dipping really far down in July, but on the opposite side, we're getting a lot more. Our posting went up almost 3x in July, just to get more exposure out there. So, keep in mind these dashboards right here. You need to be able to identify an action from every little dashboard. So this is one quick way of looking at revenue sliding down, but your posting going up, just so you can have consistent months out there. With that said, please feel free to reach me at DATAMiine with 2i's at gmail.com. Register for the product, and happy prepping for Q4. Have a good day. Bye.